There's a bit of a secret that I have. I kinda, just a little bit, like Sonic the Hedgehog. I know, shocking, right? Yes, it is I, a random guy on the internet who likes Sonic and Shonen Jump. Oh wait, that's just every other dude on the block. Haha. Anyways, this is going to be more of a simple and fun type video where I just talk about my favorite covers from the Sonic comics that I have read or that I'm familiar with. I kind of came up with this idea on the spot when working on 2 other videos and being taken back by a bit and just admiring some of the art that's used for the covers. I know I've said here and there that I sometimes don't agree with the art style in certain issues or arcs entirely, and if I'm being completely honest, that kind of applies to a good portion of the covers as well. I don't hate them or anything, they just don't really stick out to me or feel too vibrant, or the story that's presented in that issue is kind of okay at best, which is going to be another factor in picking my favorite ones. I'm choosing 3 different series: mainline Archie, Universe, and IDW. And that would mean that there's carry the 2, add 50, well, a shit ton of issues. And my possible seasonal depression is one of them, so picking just 10 is a bit of a challenge, so I narrowed it down to just 3 per series and 1 extra issue or special. And to be really honest, most of the issues that I picked stem from being some of my favorite storylines for Sonic, and one of the covers that's associated with that arc is picked. Or the art could look absolutely gorgeous, and that's a-okay for me as well. So basically, nostalgia, very personal opinions, or excellent art are the deciding factors. First up though, let me get some honorable mentions out of the way, 1 for each category. Archie 126. This was pretty much the issue that made me come up with this video idea in the first place. It popped out to me with Sonic Amongst the Stars going up against Super Sonic, which is a nice nod to Fleetway, with the whole issue being about that. I also like the visual effect of Fleetway himself having these after images that are faintly there. It's not really a story I care for too much, I just like the issue being a cool homage to Fleetway Sonic, and the cover really shows that. Sonic Universe issue 4, it's simplistic in terms of design and I enjoy that. Seeing Team Dark lined up is really cool, especially from the fact that Shadow, out of all of them, officially calls them Team Dark. Plus the story itself was great for Shadow's character, coming to a different level of conclusion for him. He may be titled the Ultimate Lifeform, but even he's not perfect, so seeing him stand proud, or whatever you call this face he has most of the time, is dope, knowing that he's regaining confidence and having people as Rouge and Omega stand alongside him, rather reminiscent of his ending in 06. And Sonic IDW Annual 2020. Okay, now here's the thing. I'm gonna single myself out here, but I haven't read all of IDW by this point. I've legit only read like the first 6 to 8 issues. In terms of story, it's okay so far, but in terms of art, it's magnificent. And from seeing the covers of what's to come in the future for me, this one sticks out for being really fucking slick. Though the best part is, a quick Google search will tell me that this isn't really a mainline story if I'm right. It's just kind of one you could skip, but I don't mind. But man oh man, Metal Sonic looks so goddamn menacing and it's awesome. Now, after about 4 minutes, it's about time for the real list. Number 10 would be that of mainline issue 48, done by Pat Spaz and Harvey... Harvo. This was around the point where I was fully invested into reading the series, and I was super hyped when it came to this issue. Like, just this cover alone, for those who don't know, looks pretty crazy. You know, to the average person who's aware of Sonic, it's just blue animal, run fast. But taking everything into account, games and comics, it's more like... You didn't have to cut me off. Think I like it never happened, and that we were nothing. Having Sonic the hero of the series running away from the law of some kind is wild as a concept alone. Well, then again, we had that in Adventure 2, but seeing it here was even cooler. Having chains broken off his arms and ankles that have blood or mud on them is enough to spark anyone's interest into reading or wanting to know more at the very least. And this was the climax of the whole comic at the time. This was part of the endgame arc, like the finale, which was nuts reading it for the first time. But looking back on it as an adult, it's still pretty wild. for how ridiculous it gets at times. Number 9 goes to Sonic Universe 37. I thought this was Tracy Yardley's work at first, but it was done by Jim Amash and Jamal Peppers. I more or less picked this one because it really sets the tone and perfectly displays that Eggman is going to be the focal point of some kind throughout this universe arc, and yeah, he was. I wasn't too sure on how an Eggman-centric arc would be, but similar to the Babylon Rogues one, it completely exceeded my expectations. And with the Diabolical Doctor having the people who work for him is a sight to behold, because they clearly don't get along too well with one another, and more importantly, don't care too much for Eggman, but he does not give a single fuck and will kill them on the spot if they try anything. I love his smug and confident attitude. Also from the Easter eggs this cover and issue has of bringing various villains together in one spot, like they brought back the Nerbs, the freaking Nerbs from issue 10. Wow. Also, shout out to Lee and for not wanting to be there. You love to see it. And even though the cover shows members of the Freedom Fighters also on this wanted list here, the arc is mainly about Snively running away and Eggman chasing him to put him in timeout. Forever. The number 8 spot is the special issue that I mentioned earlier, and it's the cover of the Mecha Madness special. Pat Spaz and Harvo at it again. This is a kick-ass cover, honestly. The title alone makes this different from other covers. The metallic-like font shows how metal this cover and story is. Flames blazing and burning everything, with even having the fire in the shape of Robotnik. That's fucking wicked. Characters scattered about of who's important to the arc. Sonic, yes, he is in the forefront, but isn't really the focus, as Mecha Knuckles is kicking his robotic ass that takes center stage. I'll probably do a video on roboticization in the future, way down the line though, but for sure, I'm bringing up this arc. It's one of the oldest in the comics history and legit still holds up to this day. At least I think so. Like, look at this, man. This is fucking awesome. Number 7 goes out to IDW issue 10, and specifically cover A as they call it. I wasn't aware of this till I started looking into this run, but every single issue has at least 2 covers or more. I'm not really complaining. It looks cool for most of them and seems dope to own, and issue 10 would be one that I would like to have. This cover looks clean. Art done by Adam Bryce Thomas, kick ass from the art alone. Neo Metal Sonic looking down upon those who are against him. I love how everyone has this tint to them with their signature color as well. Everyone has this pose and look that says just a little bit something about their character, and the added effect of everyone using the powers and abilities they're known for. Blaze and her fire looking very kick-ass, Silver and his psychokinesis, Amy, Espio, and Whisper with their weapons, and I think the coolest is this blur-like effect they gave Sonic's arms for his speed. I really like that. Oh, wait a minute. His arms are white, not pale. Never mind, this cover sucks. Number 6, Tracy Yardley and Jim Amash coming in again with Universe Issue 30. I like Scourge quite a bit, so him having his own universe arc, Lockdown, no doubt I would love it. Scourge being with the Destructics was something I didn't know I wanted. I know he's worked with them in the past, but not really interacting with them. And seeing that in this arc was a treat. And what I love about the cover is that you can tell what everyone's personality is to some degree. Simeon and Hawk being more of the serious types, Lightning being a guy who's not too sure of himself, but someone who could still put up a fight. Scourge having this shit-eating grin, and Fiona right alongside him with her smug bitch face. Put those two together, and it's something I love seeing. Oh, and Flying Frog is just there for the fun, I guess. They're all lined up knowing that even though they're in jail, it's only going to be for a few days, and then it's breakout time. It's really cool to see them just together. I like that. There wasn't too much of that by the time of this arc, but it was something really cool. So seeing it on this cover is something that I love. All with their Kingdom Hearts size shoes. That's going to be one of the few times I'm going to be making a reference to that series. You're welcome, Sky. Though, honestly, I wish this arc had another issue or two, just being a bit longer, because I love this version of the Destructics, in terms of the development that they got. Plus, I have to give compliments to the colors, which was done by Ben Hunziker. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't really know what it is, it just looks nice, like really nice, I like it. Number 5, it's going to be 2 IDW covers actually. The reason I put them in the same spot is because they both have the same thing I like, that being the Deadly Six, Truthfully, for myself, and universally for most, we can come to an agreement and say the Deadly Six from the game they starred in, Lost World, were painfully one note. I'm sorry. Even Infinite had more than them.
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
Better luck next time, fuckboy.
But seeing these covers featuring them, they seem to literally pose an actual threat, which is remarkable to look at. Issue 25, cover B, and issue 41, cover A, both done by Adam Bryce Thompson. And let me just say, he's easily and already become my favorite artist for this run. His work is so fucking good! From issue 25, crowding around both doctors, but given the slight amount of detail, they look a bit grotesque up close, and I think that really sells the monster aspect of the Deadly Six. Some teeth and sharp nails are shown from each member in some way, and once again, being so crowded together, it's almost like you can feel them breathing down your own neck. It's pretty fucking menacing. I like that. And for issue 41, I just love how dynamic they look and how pretty it is. Sonic and Zavik having a showdown, Xena looking very lovely, and she got her nails done this time. Good for her. Zor posing like a JoJo character, Zaz and Zik doing their thing, and Zamzam looking pretty sinister for once. I would never expect that. Again, I haven't fully read all of IDW by the time of this recording, so I hope and pray to the Master Emerald that they are better than their appearance from the games, which honestly wouldn't take much. I clearly see that they take up a good chunk of the comics, so please make them good, IDW, please. These covers are too badass to not have them be pretty cool. Number 4 is Sonic Universe 27. This one is entirely nostalgia based. This was one of the first physical comics I ever bought. This and issue 28, so the finale of Silver's arc, and I like that cover too, but this one was always more striking to me. Seeing an enraged Silver, power glowing, fist clenched, charging at Interjack, facial expressions saying, I can throw anything, that includes these hands! Screw the ability to pick up anything with your mind. Nothing beats a good old punch. Then he spends all of next issue having a throwing contest, whatever though. Plus on the added effect, I love that you're seeing Silver in Interjack's helmet's reflection and in his eye, as well as having the bronze or worn out gold from his helmet. And from closer inspection, I now realize that his eye looks that way because it's his mechanical eye. I completely forgot that Knuckles had that in the future. It all comes together to make this fantastic looking cover. I love it so much. It looks so dope. Thank you, Tracy. Number 3, IDW issue 30. Now, out of all the covers I've seen for IDW so far, this is the coolest one. A cover that stands out the most. And I say that because I technically have it. How I am reading the series is first from this hardcover collection that has the first 3 arcs in it. Then the rest I have are in graphic novel form. And when I was buying the others, the last one, as it's called, Out of the Blue, is beautiful. Adam Bryce Thomas does not miss in this run with his style. Every other person has this "it's finally over" or "job well done" type expression, and it's so cool to look at. And they all have this expression from what I can guess being a long and rather traumatic event. I heard some things go down and up, but mostly down, and shit gets real. Everyone's there to just enjoy the moment while it lasts, including the villains of Eggman and Starline, the treasure hunters of Jet, Wave, and Storm, everyone else, new and old, and with Supersonic's silhouette in the background, it seals the deal for me for being a really cool cover. Also, upon further research, 5+ points to ABT for initially trying to include his own OC into the cover, but he had to hide it instead. That's awesome. What a badass. Number 2 is going to be complete bias and memory lane for me. Issue 192 from Archie Comics. Done by Tracy Yardley yet again. This is probably the most, how do I put this, Archie Sonic-esque cover in the whole series to me. Because this was right when Scourge came back and was really making a name for himself. And the whole arc was honestly peak Archie Sonic for me. In terms of just the mainline series, there were a few other contenders that were only picked because of Scourge being on the cover. 161 where he does transform, 195 for Hedgehog Havoc. Both are good, yes. But this one is my favorite. Surprisingly, having Sonic and Scourge back to back, yet at the same time having both of their backs up against the wall from fighting the metal versions of themselves, with the eyes of those killing machines looking right at them. So this in turn does require them to work together for the fattest second that there could be. I just love how it's all just represented here and portrayed, all the while with having the striking red and black background. I like it. And from my personal experience, this is the oldest single issue that I own. Most of the physical issues that I have start from 205 to 243 and are scattered about, but I have 192 in single edition form. I managed to pick it up at my local comic book store just at a random day. I saw it sitting there and I had to get it. But unfortunately, I have to keep it in this plastic wrap because its pages are literally falling out of the book, which kind of sucks. What sucks twice as much though is me not being able to find the graphic novel version, which is called Dark Mirror. That is an amazing title. I love that. Anyways, number 1 is Archie Sonic Comic issue 229. I am practically speechless on how amazing this cover is. Legit, out of all of the covers that I have covered so far, if there was one that I would want as a poster, this one would have to be the winner. This art is absolutely beautiful. The shine, the glimmer, the power that's just emanating off of Super Sonic. Vibrant red eyes, stunning gold, as well as having the anniversary logo at the bottom. It really gives it that nice touch of life to it. The same goes for the red border that's all around it. It's just perfect. Absolute perfection. The art just speaks for itself this time around. Now, the crazy thing is, the story that takes place inside the issue itself, I think is the pure definition of okay at best. I wasn't really a fan of the Genesis arc. If it was just 1 or 2 issues shorter, then it would have been okay. But it has 4 complete issues from start to finish. Ah well, I completely adore this cover. Pat Spaz, you glorious son of a gun. Yeah, you thought I was gonna say bitch, didn't you? And that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure this took longer than expected in terms of recording, but it was still a fun video that I wanted to make and kind of came out of nowhere, so why not just do it now? As well as to tell you that I'm not trying to upload 1 video per month. I've just been busy, but don't you worry. I already have 2 videos in the work, plus I've been trying to get into other things, so, you know, I can talk about them as well, and not just the same few topics or series over and over. But let me know what your favorite covers are down in the comments below. I would love to see what your picks are. There were a lot that I really could have chose from. Like, I had nearly 30 initially when I started out with, but I really did have to just shorten it down to just 10. Just would have been easier to record and talk about, even though I messed up a lot in this recording. Who cares though, right? That's what editing's for. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You know what to do with all the links that I provide and everything of the sort. Thank you for watching. That's greatly appreciated, of course. Have a great day, have a great night, and everything else, you know what to do.